What's going on, everyone? Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. I'm your host, Will Ortner. We're going to break down some exciting news that the Los Angeles Chargers got today. And hey, I know that we're kind of in that dead period of July, but anytime you can get a positive update on a player, well, that's only going to lead to good things. The first piece of Chargers news that we're going to talk about on today's show does involve quarterback Justin Herbert. PFF, they ended up going on having an article where they ranked the top 10 quarterbacks, well, really all 32 quarterbacks, but we're going to focus in on the top 10 QBs in the National Football League. Where does Herbert fall on that list? Do they think he's going to be able to have a step forward next year? Do they think that he's going to take a step back? Then we're going to talk about Jamaree Caldwell, a fantastic defensive lineman, obviously played over with the Oregon Ducks. Now he's in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Had a good rookie year. Is he going to be able to build upon that? ESPN's Ben Solak certainly thinks that Caldwell is going to be able to do just that. Now, PFF, they started ranking their top QBs going into the 2026 NFL season. And I think it's pretty clear that we all expected Justin Herbert to be in the conversation as one of, if not the best QBs in the NFL. Now, what'll be interesting is where they ended up having him slotted at. They had Herbert at that 7 position, which makes a lot of sense in my eyes because Herbert, you can't put him all the way up at the very tippy top. He hasn't quite had the success, whether it is getting all pros or getting MVP nods, while at the same time not having the postseason success of some of the other guys. But at the same time, it is important to note that Herbert, anyone who thinks he's outside of the top 10 is ridiculous. Now, PFF's a little more different in how they do their rankings. Obviously, look, I think they wear this as a badge of honor. If you're over at PFF, you're into some nerd stats, right? You do some nerdy things. And so that can sway where a player is ranked or not. But I still love where they end up having Justin Herbert. Whether you talk to people who played the sport and use their eyes for where they judge, or if you talk to the nerds, Herbert always ends up in the top 10. And frankly, in my opinion, I think that this is kind of just the beginning for Justin Herbert, and we're going to see a much improved version of him in 2026. When we're not talking about him being a top 10 QB, we're talking about him being a top 5, maybe even top 3. If Justin Herbert is a top 10 QB in your eyes, go in and hit the thumbs up button on today's video. We love our quarterback, Justin Herbert. I think the kid is an absolute beast. I hope that you do too. Yes, the postseason success has not been there. You know who else struggled in the postseason for a long time? Peyton Manning, John Elway, plenty of other really good quarterbacks that had success at the back end of their career. I think that Justin Herbert can do that, and it's going to start pretty quickly. PFF's Dalton Wasserman and Max Chadwick had this to say on why they had Justin Herbert ranked where they did. Even after a disappointing season, Herbert's 91.2 PFF grade over the past 3 years ranks 5th among NFL quarterbacks, while his 91.0 passing grade from a clean pocket ranks 6th in 2025. With Slater and Alt expected back at full strength, Herbert is well positioned to bounce back in a major way. I blame the bad on last year's offensive line. I think it's pretty clear that when you look at the issues and the mistakes that Herbert had, it's important to really realize that most of that isn't necessarily on the quarterback. If he's getting pressure on him every single time he drops back, that's not on Justin Herbert. That's on the offensive line. And then you're forcing your quarterback to either speed up his throws, force the ball downfield, or force himself into a position where he's having to run around all over the place, hoping that he could buy just enough time for a wide receiver to get open. No one was hit more than Justin Herbert. No one was pressured more than Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert got beat up last year, and that wasn't his fault. And even still at the same time, that's a pretty darn incredible year. 3,700 yards, if he wasn't beat up and hurt, he probably plays the entire year, gets every single snap, and he ends up with 4,000 yards. Interception went up a little bit. He was forced to throw the football into harm's way more. Touchdown number is good. Completion percentage is good. Justin Herbert is a really quality quarterback in the National Football League, and it's fine time that the national media agrees with. Before we continue on with today's program, I need to let you know that today's show is made possible by SeatGeek. When it's time to get out of the house, there's not many better options right now than a ball game. And with SeatGeek being MLB's official ticket marketplace, your tickets are fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. I was having some fun just last night, went on SeatGeek and looked for some Chargers tickets. Now, you know me, I'm looking at that opening day matchup against the Cardinals, looking for the best deals possible, looking for those green dots, and hopefully trying to see as many TDs as possible. Whether it's a Chargers game with a special lady friend or a Co-Wetzel concert with the boys, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good. Red means bad. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with the promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you so very much, SeatGeek. When we look at the last 4 seasons for Justin Herbert, it's been clear that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. He throws the football efficiently around the field. He has a high completion percentage, typically has low interception numbers, and is great when it comes to getting touchdowns. And he did that all in an offense that, in my opinion, was very, very archaic, right? So the fact that Herbert was able to have that much success, still get to a spot where PFF is saying, yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback, and we get to look forward to what he's going to be able to do this next season with Mike McDaniel. I mean, shoot, Herbert's going to get better this year, and it's just simply by osmosis. As long as he doesn't take a step back athletically, accuracy-wise, or with his QB decisions, hint, hint, he's not going to do that. Justin Herbert is going to be even better. So we'll be complaining about a top 7 ranking next year when we should be excited about a top 5 or top 3. That's how well I think he's going to play. A big reason why he's going to be better, I got 4 of them. The offensive line is better. It's simple, man. If your offensive line sucks, there's going to be limitations on how much you're going to be able to do. And I think oftentimes offensive linemen only get talked about when things are going poorly for them, and that is bad and that is wrong. But I mean, shoot, just by simply having your left and right tackle, starters by the way, healthy for the entire year, that offensive line unit is going to be better. Why? They have the, 5th best left tackle, top 10 right tackle, top 10 tackles total for sure. Like, I don't know that there's a better tackle duo in the National Football League. And if there is 1 or 2, there aren't 5 or 6, right? This is a really good crew. So the fact that the Chargers lost both those guys was going to be a problem to begin with. But now that they're back, that's going to be a good thing for this team. You're also going to get improved play from the interior. Tyler Biadasz is simply just better than whatever you had there previously. You're going to get both Coyote Oshika, Cole Strange, maybe even Jake Slaughter. Those are going to be your guards. That's going to be improved as well. So I just think from an O-line perspective, they're going to be better, giving Herbert more time, allowing him to throw the football easier. Next, you got a better offensive coordinator. Look, I'm not here to attack the Romans. I think the Visigoths already did that. If you're a history nerd, that was a great joke. Obviously, I think it's important that getting Mike McDaniel in as your offensive coordinator is a gigantic victory for this team. He's super innovative. He doesn't give away what he's going to do. He's ahead of the game. We have him there listed as someone who uses a lot of 12 personnel. Guess what? He's going to use a lot of 13 personnel as well this year. I think you're going to see the Chargers jump up into that top 2 to 3 range of using 13 personnel. The reason for that is, 1, the Chargers have the tight ends to be able to do it, but 2, and I do think that this is much more importantly, is that the Chargers have put themselves into a position where they know that 13 personnel with 3 tight ends is a better thing for this team, just matchup-wise, helping you with the running backs, and so on and so forth. So I'm very excited to see what the Chargers do with that. Which position group has improved the most in your eyes? Let us know down below in the comment section. Is it the offensive line just by being healthy? Is it the wide receiver room? Is it defensive line, linebacker, safety unit? You let me know what your opinion is. You've been listening to OTAs. You've been listening to Chargers Now by Chat Sports. You know what's going on with this team. Let me know your opinion in our comment section. Next reason I think that Herbert's going to be better is because of the improvement at wide receiver. Now, some of this is also going to stem back to, the offensive game plan being a better scheme. But I just look at the Chargers wide receiver depth chart, and yes, I understand that Keenan Allen is no longer there, and that is a tough loss. I just think that the way the Chargers are going to use the wide receiver room, you're going to see more skill from them. You're going to see more growth. You're going to see more yards. You're just going to see a better and more talented group. Lastly, I think the most important thing with why Herbert will be better is just everyone's going to be healthy. Herbert was beat up last year. Both years running backs were beat up last year. Offensive line was beat up last year. Wide receivers missed time last year. Like, everyone was hurt on the offensive side of the football. And yes, even your eyeballs watching certain games were hurt watching this Chargers team. To me, look, I know I'm tempting fate here, but I feel like it can't be worse. So just by the Chargers being more healthy, well, I think that's going to be a good thing for this squad. Next, we're going to talk about Jamaree Caldwell because he is someone who is talked about being the breakout player by ESPN. And I thought that his rookie campaign, frankly, was pretty darn good for a guy coming out of Oregon that wasn't necessarily extremely highly thought of. He was a guy that was going to add in talent, and I think he did even more than that. Here's what Ben Solak of ESPN had to say on Caldwell. As a third-round rookie, Caldwell almost led the Chargers in snaps along the interior. He had 525 to T.R. Tart's 526. Caldwell is a particularly exciting part of a deep defensive tackle rotation because he is capable of playing both over the center and over the guard, which gives him good synergy with Tart, who is similarly versatile. When we look at the stat line that Caldwell had last year, I thought this was pretty impressive. Obviously, I got to watch him a lot at Oregon, being a fan of the university, and even I didn't see this coming from the interior defensive lineman. To have over 30 tackles, 5 TFLs, and a sack, and be able to play multiple positions in this defense, that makes him a big key cog to what the Chargers are going to want to do next year. Before we continue on with the program, I need to let you know that today's show is also made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. On today's show, I do have a huge favor to ask you. Go and give me a follow on Prize Picks, their new social feeds feature at BigWill7774. Right now, I have 13 followers. I'm trying to jump up the Chat Sports host leaderboard. Obviously, you can see Rolly, Chip, and the great Tom Downey. They are ahead of me when it comes to followers. Go in and give me that follow. If you follow me at BigWill7774, you can see all of the lineups I create, including this one. I have the more on Quentin Johnston receiving TDs. I have the more on Kenyon Sadiq receiving TDs. I have the more on Jackson Smith and Jigba receiving TDs. New user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with Prize Picks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. What makes Caldwell and really this entire Chargers defensive line so special is all three guys on the interior can kind of play any of the three positions. And you're starting to see that the Chargers are now building an interior defensive line that allows them to have three guys that are frankly interchangeable. Honestly, you have 4 or 5 guys that are interchangeable when it comes to the positions that they play. This is a big deal. You're seeing Mike McDonald, who runs the exact same defense that Chris O'Leary is going to run, or at least scheme-wise, in Seattle. This is what they do up there. They have 3 to really 5, 6 guys that are able to play all 3 positions. They rotate them in, keep everyone healthy, keep everyone fresh, and then they have the ability to go out and play 110%, almost like a hockey shift, because you don't have to plan to be out there the entire time. Caldwell is clearly a beneficient of that because he's able to play all 3 spots. He's able to be out on the field more, and I think ESPN's Ben Solak says something here that actually is going to allow him to be more of a threat in the pass rush. The Chargers added Dalvin Tomlinson, a quintessential run-stuffing nose tackle in free agency. It's easy to infer they'll give Caldwell a few more pass rush opportunities beside Tomlinson, and he has the requisite quickness and flexibility to be a quick penetrating player who creates cleanup opportunities for other rushers. I love to hear this because you're looking at the success a player had the previous year and saying, we can build upon that, and we can build upon it with a young player. Using a veteran, mixing them up with a young player, one, it allows the young player to reach their potential sooner. I even think it allows them to raise their potential just a little bit. And I think right now, when you look at this Chargers defensive line, you don't want it to be the same as McDonald. You don't want it to be the same as Minter. You want it to be Chris O'Leary's vision, but you want his vision to be similar to what those two have been doing because they are two of the brightest defensive minds in the entire National Football League. When every other team is going offensive-minded, right now it feels like there are a few teams that are going defensive-minded and a few defensive coordinators that are able to use those defensive schemes, hopefully Chris O'Leary is one of those, to be able to benefit his team in the biggest way possible. Who will be the breakout player for the Chargers in the 2026 NFL season? Let me know what player is poised for a big, gigantic year. I'm very interested in hearing what you have to say down below. Excited for Caldwell. I think Quentin Johnson has a real good shot as well. Hit the thumbs up button if you love the content that we have here on the channel and you really enjoyed everything that we were doing. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you keep up to date with everything going on with the Chargers. We're going to have videos out every single day. Hey, we're dealing with a concussion over here, so the output might be a little bit different, but we're still going to make sure that we get that content out to you as much as possible. 1 to 2 videos every single day. Don't want you to miss out on any Chargers news or rumors. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Go tell someone that you love them and bolt up.